2020 is shaping up to be the year of the cross-country inspired bikes. In the first half of the year, we saw a bunch of new short travel 29ers, which are one of my favorite bike categories of all time. In the last few weeks, I've been riding only two bikes, the Viathon M1 Hardtail and the Transition Spur. And in that time, I've clocked more miles than ever before because these bikes are so fun to ride. In a world of 38mm stanchion forks and 36-pound enduro bikes, it's refreshing to jump on something so lightweight and agile. Now, to the casual observer, you might classify both of these as cross-country bikes, but when you look closer and actually ride them, you realize that they're on opposite ends of the spectrum. Let's take a closer look at what most people consider a conventional cross-country race bike. Now, if you haven't heard of Viathon, you're probably not alone, but you definitely heard of Walmart. Yep, Viathon is a direct-to-consumer bike company backed by one of the largest retailers in the world. But this isn't your kid's Walmart bike. Take a closer look and you'll notice a super lightweight carbon frame designed by one of the best cycling design companies out there. The components on the bike are some of the best out there as well, including top-level SRAM 12-speed drivetrains, RockShox suspension, Stans wheels, ergon grips, and the list goes on and on. Also for a pretty good price, especially when they go on sale. In terms of weight, all of this adds up to a stunningly light 21 pounds. Now, if you're new to the sport and started out with 35-pound entry-level hardtail or even a 30-pound carbon trail bike, I guarantee you hopping on a 21-pound race hardtail will feel like you're on an e-bike. I've never ridden a bike that encourages you to stand up and sprint every chance I could get. Cross-country racing is won and lost on the climbs, and bikes in this category are really designed to do one thing, and that's to maximize efficiency. Therefore, the frame has a shorter reach and wheelbase, and the steeper head-to angle helps you whip around those corners with very minimal effort. But what's it like descending on a bike like this? Well, it kind of depends on the trail. The Viathon really enjoys carving up smooth, twisty trails. It's not until you start hitting braking bumps or when the trail gets chunky that you quickly realize the limitations of a bike like this. Now, don't get me wrong, this is able to get down just about everything, but you'll be a lot slower, and at some point you'll start to wonder what your disability coverage looks like. However, on the right trails, I had an absolute blast on this bike. I live really close to a park with a lot of XC trails, and this was my go-to bike for quick rides from the house. Now, even if you're not considering a bike in this category, I highly suggest riding one to get some perspective. It's like taking a spin on a backcountry road on a stripped-out Lotus Elise race car. So what if you want some of that sportiness, but looking for something more comfortable as a daily driver? Well, you might want to consider something like this Transition Spur. Now, I'm going to resist repeating that new bike category word that's sweeping the internet right now, but really all you need to know is that bikes like the Spur aren't exactly cross-country race bikes. And despite having 120mm of travel, the Spur's geometry resembles more of what you'd expect from a modern trail bike. So yes, it's longer, lower, and of course slacker. It might not get up to the top as quickly as the Viathon, but the more relaxed geometry and of course the rear suspension means it's a lot more comfortable on those rowdy descents. And you don't have to hold back as much as you do on the Viathon. Bikes like this blur the lines between a capable trail bike with something that you can ride on flatter trails without feeling too overbiked. Now at this point you might be saying, I can pedal my big enduro bike all day no problem, so what's the point of having less bike? I made a video last month discussing the pros and cons of being underbiked versus overbiked. Obviously the best option is to have the right tool for the job, and I do believe a light short travel, or dare I say XC bike, is the right tool for a lot of people. But the temptation to buy more than we actually need is always there, especially when it comes with no additional cost. But with all the new country bikes coming out this year, the question is, are you tempted to jump into one of the purest categories of mountain bikes right now? Something that you can ride anything short of a bike park that can make your local trails interesting and challenging again. Could it be time to bust out the tights again? You know you have them. Let me know in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed this video, and remember, those trails don't get easier, you get better. We'll see you on the next one.